Yeah, see, myself Partha. I'm from Sina Cloud, and I have with me Sujay right here. So we are both from Sina Cloud team, and Sujay is like okay, heading the Power Apps area. Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. So like yeah, today like okay, we just started some initiative on to publish some of the webinars. So probably like this is the first webinar like okay, we are coming in after a very long time, and we are trying to do furthermore webinars on the areas of Dynamics, Power Platform, and on also on the Copilot Studio that is yet to come. Okay, and today we'll be focusing more about how to generate a new invoice with Power Platform. Basically, like okay, we'll take a blank invoice and we'll just put some data and we'll just try to generate it by using a PDF and send it in the email or something. Yeah, that technicality details Sujay will take care. I'll just give a brief overview. Okay, what we do here and this webinar. Okay, we are partnering with Reddington and we're just providing it as this initiative. Let me just go back to another slide right here. So we focus more here on like a Power Platform side. Basically, like okay, we worked in the apps, automation, and AI and chatbot areas. And we also okay have specializations into the Power BI side of an area, and we are trying to explore the Microsoft Fabric. So we try to add a few more videos in the further time. And also like, okay, we have a separate team who is working on the finance and operation that is on the D365 side to do with any customizations, enhancements and other things. Okay, we have a separate team which is working on. And also like, okay, we work on certain products that's on sign applicants, lenders and HR enhance. These are some web portal development products like which is tightly integrated with finance and operations. Yeah. So this is a bit overview about us. And so as we have 10 minutes delay, I'll just pass it over this call to Sujay. Okay, he will lead towards and take it forward with the technical details. Yeah. Yeah, Sujay, please.
Hello everyone. I'll share my screen. So in today's webinar, I'll be explaining about invoice generation automation using a tool called Power Automate. Okay, so currently I have a data stored in my SharePoint and it is built using a template, sample template, which I've downloaded from online. And I've made some plain text controls and I'll be explaining it to you how it works. So before that, I'll be explaining some key elements that you need to focus in this particular webinar. So the first will be, as I said, it will be the invoice template creation in Microsoft Word. And the next one will be, since my data is stored in SharePoint, we'll be having two lists. Lists meaning the table you can say in SharePoint. One will be the for header, one will be for the lines. Then next, you will have to do summation of unit or price columns, right? There's no direct method in SharePoint to have summation. So I use a method in Power Automate, which I'll again be explaining it to you. Next, dynamically, you're supposed to get signature images from Power Automate. So currently, there is a field called images in SharePoint, but that will not be helpful for you to pull it into Power Automate dynamically. It will be very static and it will be very slow process. So there is a workaround or a trick for it, which I'll be showing it to you. After all this process is done, you will have to create a file, convert it to PDF and store it in OneDrive or take it up to your email or anywhere, right? Let's move on to the demo. I am going to create a new flow right now. I'll create before that, I'll just show you the header and invoice lines. So this is the invoice header I have right now. This title, you can consider it as customer number or something. And I have all the fields associated, party address, party name, phone number. It is just nothing but delivery address or shipping address, right? This is how it is. These are the invoice headers. So if my invoice header is one or the customer number is one, I need to link it to the invoice lines that has customer number one. So here I have three rows which says customer number one. So these three rows I'll be linking it to the header part. Means to this customer header I'll be linking it in Power Automate. And that's the reason I have taken it as two different lists instead of making it one, which can be confusing, right? So the final output, I'll show you how it looks and I'll give you a demo of it. So this is the final output of how the invoice template looks, or the generated template. Okay. Now I'll be showing you the actual template. Yeah. So this is one sample template which I have currently. It's called Delivery Challan, which I've downloaded from online site. So I'll first teach you how to generate or how to create a template in Microsoft Word. So for that, what you have to do is first you have to enable developer options. So initially it will not be available. So for that you have to go to File, go to click on More, click on Options. Then go to Customize ribbon, search for developer options in this place on the left hand side, and click on Add button. It will be coming to the right hand side, which means it will be coming into your ribbon. So since I already have it, I cannot show it to you again. Then click on OK and then proceed. So you'll be getting a developer option. So for now, if you want to have a field sitting in this place, what you have to do is you have to use a control called plain text content control, right? And click on properties and assign it some name. It's like nothing but like assigning it as a variable. You can consider it as that. So you can give it a delivery challenge and give it a tag name as well. So the tag will be appearing here, and this is shipping to. So same for shipping to as well. I'll have a plain text content control, and in properties I can name it as shipping to itself, right? Next, I can keep on doing for the text fields using the plain text content control. But if you want to do it for line items, since a line item table will be looping every time, what you have to do is you have to select the particular item where it has to loop and select this control called as repeating section content control. You cannot use a plain text control there because line items have to loop. So in that case, we'll have to use repeating section content control. So first, you will be getting a repeating section. Under this repeating section, you can have a plain text if you want. So here we can have serial number, properties, serial number. Click on OK. For this particular repeating section also, you can give it some name. You can give it like line items. Click on OK. Same for item name, you can give plain text, but everything should be within this line items repeating section, not as an individual plain text content control. Please keep that in mind. Once this is all done, there's a thing called authorized signature. So as I told you earlier, you need to dynamically get the signature images from SharePoint list as per your agent or customer name or as per your company who is giving the delivery challenge. Okay, so for that there is a content control called as picture content control. You cannot use a plain text control here, so use a picture content control. You can adjust it however you want, minimize size. Okay, and you can also give a name for this, maybe sign or something, and click on OK. So three things to keep in mind here. One was the regular plain text control. The other one was a repeating section content control. Another one was image control. So three things have been enabled here. And this template, I will be using it in my I'll be storing it in my OneDrive first. So I already have a delivery challenge template which is similar to what I created now. All right. Now what I'll do is I'll create a new flow. So it'll be a instant cloud flow, which means it's a manually triggered flow. So in manual triggered flow, if I click on if I select a customer number, it will generate that particular customer number's invoice. So if I select customer number one, this customer numbers header and line items will be populated into Word template, and it will be generating a template and storing it into OneDrive. I'll show you the final output later. So I'll create a flow here. I'll say call it as invoice automation. Switch off the new designer. So here what happens is I'll ask for the user to input a customer number. So in that case, I'll be having a text input here. So I can say it as a customer number. I can type it here as enter customer number to generate invoice. Okay, that will be the first trigger for a flow. Next, what I'll do is I'll get the customer number out of this, whatever the user has input. So I'll be using a compose action for that. In compose action, whatever I gave earlier was customer number, right? If you see here, it's customer number. I'll be getting it into compose action. I'll rename it as customer number so that it'll be easy to use it later. Next, once I get the customer number, as I said earlier, you need to start populating uh, values to the invoice template. So for that, few variables you will have to set. So in my PPT, if you saw earlier, uh, it said summation of unit or price or columns, right? So for that, I'll be using a concept of temporary variable and initial variable, right? Or original variable, whatever you can call it. So for that, for line items, I'll make an array first. So if you see my invoice lines, I'll make it as an array for these items. So I'll initialize a variable now. I'll call it as line items. I'll make it as an array table. I'll rename it as initial variable line items. Yeah. Next. So in your template, so there's something called as a total of unit or quantity. It's available here, right? As I told, we need to use temporary variable and original variable. So for that, I'll be initializing another variable for getting the total of the quantity. So how I'll be doing is I'll initialize two variables now. Use the same action, initialize variable, and I'll name it as total quantity first, and it can be in float. Float is a better option, doesn't give you any troubles in the later point of time while generating items from your SharePoint list. So here I'll name it as initialize variable total quantity. Right. Once that is done, and now I'll initialize a variable to get that to store it as temporary variable. So I'll again initialize another variable. I'll name it as a temp quantity, temporary variable. This also I'll keep it as float and rename it for better understanding. Temp quantity. Next, quantity part is done. Now I'll go to the unit part, the total of unit. So for that also I'll do the same procedure. I'll initialize two variables. One is the original, one is the temporary. Initialize variable temp quantity. So instead of that, I'll make it as total unit and float. Rename it again. I'll initialize another variable to store temporary one. Initialize variable. I'll keep it as float. I'll name it as temp unit as temporary variable. Temp unit. Okay. Now we have set the variables. Just save it here till here. Next, I'll have to get to the SharePoint list, which was available here. One is the header list and one is the lines list. So both I'll be getting, and I'll show you how to link lines to the header or header to lines, either way. Now I'll get the header first. So there's an action called get item in SharePoint actions. Get item, not items. It's just get item. So I'll go to my site address, which is available in our Sina Cloud SharePoint list. The list name will be invoice headers. Okay. So the unique identifier of item to be retrieved. So in invoice header, it is asking for the unique thing. So in this place, unique thing is nothing but the customer number or the title. You can rename it as per your business requirement. I've just left it as title itself as primary column. So I'll just get the output which we are inputting into the flow. So here I've set a customer number. Customer number is coming from the user input. The same compose action I'm using it in this place. So what happens when I run this flow? I'll be getting the input as what the user types in. So if you types in one, here the one number of headers will be coming out. If I type two, two customer number will be coming out as the output. I'll name it as get item invoice header. So now header part is done. Now we'll get the lines part. So for that also you will have to use get items action. See the difference. In the previous one it was get item. Means I'm getting the single header there. Whereas in lines when I want to get, I'm getting the get items action. Means multiple rows. Here I'll show you how to link it. So for get items, I have the same site address which I'll be giving it earlier. And my list is called as invoice lines. Yeah, invoice lines. And I'll have to select the entries where it is available. So it is available in lists and invoice lines. Right? Now what you have to do is, as I said, if if you want to get to know the invoice header or invoice line for header, what you'll have to do is the customer number should be same as in invoice lines. So for 2 and 2, it will be linked to header number 2 or customer number 2. That is the meaning. So here I have two line items which are linked to second customer. I mean customer number 2 here. So for that I'll have a filter query. So in filter query, what you do is from header I'll take the primary column name, which is title. Okay. Title equal to I'll give the output of what the user is entering. So from the previous action, meaning to say from the customer number. So if I input one, it'll come as title of header equal to one. That will reference to the input which we give. So I'll have to use the customer number here. In the single quotes, you'll have to give it. I'll save and I'll show you how it happens till here. We'll touch the flow now. So here I'll have to input the customer number. So if I give customer number 2, meaning to say in the header there is customer number 2, right? I need to get that as output right now. So if I click on run flow, yeah. So first we'll see what happened. So if you see a title number 2 has come out here, right? Title to ID, title number 2, which is nothing but header 2, which I selected. Okay, header part has come out. Now we'll see how it is linked in this lines part. So I'll just click to download here. So the title was 2, right? The header which I gave. So you should be getting lines from only customer number 2. So banana and pineapple is the item name which I have. So if you see here, you will be getting banana, pineapple you have here, and then banana. So 2 line items have come out for that particular customer, right? That is how you link header to line in SharePoint. Now we'll proceed with the next part. I'll add on loop here to loop the line items and populate the uh, variables which I'll be setting now. So we use apply to each here. Once I apply to each, I need to get the items from the line items. I'll just rename it here. Get items, lines, invoice, lines. I can name it as line, invoice lines. So I'll get the value from invoice lines. Means the whatever is available will be inside the loop now. Now I've made some initializing of variables here. So for these variables, we'll start setting the variable now. So there's an action called set variable. Set variable. So first I'll set the total quantity. So for total quantity, if I use just total quantity, what will happen? I'll just show you. Just what's the name of it? Okay, just quantity. Okay, quantity. So if I use this, there is no purpose for this of having a temporary variable and original variable. So for that, I'll show you how we do it. Copy this particular uh, dynamic content. Go to our expression. Before going to expression, set the temporary variable as well here. Set variable temp quantity. So previous thing, I'm doing total quantity. I'll rename it. Set variable, and here I'll be renaming it as temp quantity. So I'll go to my expression. Previously, I copied the quantity from my SharePoint list. There is an expression called as add. Add of my quantity from SharePoint. Just remove the flower brackets here. Make sure you do that and the @ symbol. Add the quantity from SharePoint, comma, the temporary variable. You can select it from dynamic content, temporary quantity, and click on OK. So if I hover over this, you will be knowing add quantity, comma, variables of temp quantity. So in my temp quantity, what I'll do is I'll just set the original variable. Original variable is total quantity. That's all. So now what happens is it will add up all the quantity for line item number 2, customer number 20 plus 5 will be added, and it will be populating into this place, the total quantity. That is how you do it in Power Automate. As there is a direct formula method for SharePoint, that is how you do it for populating it into invoices. Now, same way I'll do it for unit. I'll set a variable. Now it will be total unit. So I'll be doing the same procedure. First, I'll get the unit out from lines, copy this, go to expression. Before going to expression, add set variable, and set the temp unit here. This I'll be renaming it as total unit. This I'll rename it as temp unit. Okay, so I'll copy this, go to my expression, use the same expression, add the paste item, remove flower bracket, and @ symbol, go to the end, comma, take the dynamic content.
of temp unit. And in temp unit, I'll set the original unit. That's all. So now we'll be having totals in quantity and totals in unit. Just save it till here. Yeah. Next, we'll have to get these items ready right now. Serial number, item name, HSN, quantity, unit. So these are the items available in my SharePoint list. Serial number, item name, HSN code, quantity, unit. So I'll have to loop these items inside the loop of my Power Automate. So for that, I'll be using a previously I set one array table here, array action. It says initialize variable line items. So that I'll be setting it here. So you cannot set a variable for this. We'll have to append to array variable. There's an action called append. Append to array variable, not string variable, but array variable. So I'll select from my line items, right? So when you're writing when you're appending to array variable, it has to be in JSON format. Just make sure it's in JSON format, or else it's not going to work. So in this array variable, you need to have serial number, item name, HSN code, quantity, and unit. So whatever is available in this properties which you set, you go to developers and click on properties, the same name is you're supposed to use it in array variable as well. So it is serial num. I need to set it as serial num. So for serial number, I'll take it from my dynamic content, which is the inverse lines, and give comma. The next list will be item name. So for item name, I'll have it from here. Item name. So all these are coming from SharePoint. Serial number, item name, HSN. So I'll be giving it here. Just hold on. HSN code. Please make sure this left hand fields should be as same as available in your Microsoft Word's developer content controls properties name. Okay. HSN code will be the HSN code from my SharePoint list. Okay. Next. After HSN code, I have my quantity. Give a double quote, search for quantity. And the last one will be unit. Okay. Now we'll append to array variable for line items. I'll show you where this will be used in later point. So for now, we have made the entire line items ready. Line item along with the totals, right? Now we'll get their signature dynamically. So the trick here is just have a compose action first and just keep it here. Don't do anything there, just keep it there like that. Next, use another action called get file content. Means in my SharePoint list, all my signatures are stored in my SharePoint. So if I open this, there's one signature, there's another sample signature, right? I need to get this dynamically. So there's the content action called get file content. I need to provide my site address. So I'm selecting my site address here. File identifier means first what I'll have to do is just get the manually available file here. So it is available in my shared documents, sample signatures, and select any file here. Whatever is available, I need to select any file. Now what you do is the trick here, copy this file identifier cut it and paste it into compose action. In the place of one.png, give the title, whatever title you are giving. That title is from the header list. So search for header. I'll show you. This header. So this title's header I'll be giving it. And you have to make sure that the name of the primary column, which is 1, should be similar to the file name. So if I have 1 in my list as customer number, same should be available as 1.png in my signature list, sample signature list. Okay, that you have to make sure. So I removed 1.png, which is hard coded, and I made it dynamic by using dynamic content, which is title.png. So whatever the user has input, that will come and sit in this place, and it will pick up that particular signature and proceed further. So now what I'll do is I'll encode it. So there's an expression called encode URI component of the previous action, the compose output. So the previous action help you to get the image dynamic, and this get file content will help you to get the exact image which the user has input and where the references happened, the 1.png and the header 1. It can be, but the thing is it should be similar, the file name and the header or customer name. So that is how you can populate dynamically in Power Automate. Now lines are ready, totals are ready, and image is ready. The major part is over. We'll have to just populate these header parts. Right? For that, directly what I'll do is I'll use an action called populate a Microsoft Word template. Populate sometimes it takes a lot of time. Just populate. Okay, we'll just try searching the main action then, which is called Word Online. It has to be here somewhere. Word Online Business. And in that, use this action called populate a Microsoft Word template. So as I said earlier, my template is already stored in my OneDrive. So I'll be calling the same template into my Power Automate. So I'll have to select the location where the template is sitting. So select OneDrive for business. Document library will be OneDrive. And file, select where your template is sitting. So I'm getting it here, delivery challenge template. Give it a split second or two. The below fields will populate here. Yeah. So these fields are being populated because I set a plain text content control throughout my template. So with the help of that, it is appearing here. All this party name, delivery phone. So for these, I can go out and set a dynamic content. So for shipping phone, it will be available in my SharePoint list. So I'll assign it dynamically. Since the list is huge, it takes some time to populate. So shipping phone. Then we have delivery phone. Delivery, or just give it phone. Yeah. Name was different, just don't mind. Then party name. Party name. total unit. Yeah, the total unit will be this, which we have made it earlier in this particular loop. Then total quantity. Delivery address. Party address. So here what is happening is for the unit and quantity, I'm not formatting it. I'm just getting it as plain float numbers or something. So if you want to format, there's an action called format number. Add an action. Format number. And number to be formatted will be the the variable which you set earlier. It's called temp total unit, right? Yeah, total unit. And the format will be in dollars. Give it dollars. If I give it as the country as US, it should come out in dollars. If I give it in India, it should come out as rupee symbol. English India. Yeah. So the same thing I'll set it here. I'll just remove the plain variable and set the formatted number from dynamic content. Formatted number. Next, I'll be populating the other items present here. Delivery time. Just hold on till I fill these items. Shipping name. Date. Delivery GST. Or I've given party GST. So in terms, I'll be giving terms from SharePoint. So delivery channel will be delivery channel, and signature will be the file which you created. From you'll have to get it from this action, get file content, the output of that. So it'll usually be named as body or something. We'll just look into dynamic content. So go to sign. Search for file content. Yeah, get file content. So previous action was called as get file content. That output I'll be putting it into signature file. Then I'll populate other fields now. Email, shipping email. Shipping to address. Delivery email. Just party email must be the name. Party email. Shipping GST will be GST. Shipping GST and channel number. the chalan number, and we'll have to append the variable which is set it. Just click on this icon and give the variable which is set line items which you have made earlier. Append to array variable. Line items will be coming into this place now. Line items place. So after this, you will have to create a file. So now we're populated, but you have to store it somewhere, right? So for that, use a create file action. Create file, and you can give any path where it has to be stored. So I'll give it in attachments folder. So the file name can be um, the party, whatever the number you can, which you're getting it as input, that can be your file name or whatever as you wish. So I'll be giving customer number, delivery chalan, or just customer number dot docs. Just make sure the file format or the file extension should be proper, or else it will not generate. And the file content will be nothing but the Microsoft Word document template, which we created in this place. So this will create a Word document. So if I want to convert it into PDF, there's another way. So for that, give a delay first. Because if you directly use the convert file action, what happens is, if the file is not available, the action will get failed. So just give it some 5 seconds so that the file will go and sit in this particular attachments folder, and after 5 seconds it will try to convert it. So that's the reason I'm giving it a delay, so that you'll not have any failures in going forward. And then use convert file to convert it as PDF. So the unique identifier will be from the previous, the create file, unique identifier of the file. Means from Word document, from Word where we are creating a file, use the same unique identifier as ID, and target type will be PDF. Once it is converted, again we have to create that file. Create file. Just rename this as create file PDF, and this will be create file Word document. Just keep it as Word. So for this, I'll give another path. I'll give it from PDF docs. I'll just let the file store in my PDF docs, which is available in my SharePoint. The file name can be same again. It can be customer number, which is coming as input from the user. Customer number dot PDF. So in the previous case, it was dot docs, which will be a Word document. Here it will be a dot PDF. The content will be from the convert file action, the file content. Right, body of convert file. And I save this. Yeah, now we'll go ahead and test the flow. Just give all the permissions for this and click on continue. Enter customer number. Customer number will be from sales order header. Sorry, the invoice headers. Right. So I'll just give customer number 1 and run the flow. So it'll pick out the first customer number 1, and the line items which have been linked to it. We'll just wait for a few seconds. This kind of automation is useful where people just dump their Excel file or their particular SharePoint list, and they want to generate an automated invoice out of it and send it to an email or Teams or store it somewhere as a backup. So this process helps to cut down the excessive man work for this particular invoice generation. just wait for a few minutes. Yeah, flow is run successfully. Now we'll go and check it into our OneDrive. So the first thing was attachments, which will be a Word document, right? A few seconds ago, it was created as one.docs. So we'll download this one. And I'll open this file. Yeah, see, the items have been populated exactly. The rupee symbol is coming because I formatted it there. And dynamic images as well is coming in this place. Right, now we'll go and look into uh, the PDF document. It was created just now. I'll just download this. And I'll just open it. Yeah, this is a PDF which has been converted from Word document. Right, this is how you use Power Automate to create invoice generations and eliminating the man work for generating an invoice. Thank you.
Have any doubts, guys? Yes, sir, Nikhil. It will be uploaded as a YouTube video. You can look into it in our YouTube channel. Yes, it is a standard action, Arun. It's available. Thanks, Srinivas. Any other doubts you have? Thanks, Sidhu.
Have a mic access now. Probably if you want, like, you can just unmute and ask your questions.
Arun, you want to do you have any questions? You can speak up or you can type it in chat.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Arun.
Yeah, I just have one query. So we are not using any AI things or anything, right? We are just directly getting everything from whatever is then the PDF. We are directly extracting everything, correct?
Correct. Whatever is data is available in SharePoint, from there we are pulling it into
Yeah.
the template. No AI is included in this.
Thanks.
Lakshmi Narayan, did you have any questions?
I'm so sorry. I just joined. I just got the link.
Okay, no worries. That's okay. Yeah. Anyway, we'll be uploading the recording link. You can just have a watch and comment there as well. Yeah. Okay, Sujay, I think it's fine then. I can close the session. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for your patience and attending on Wednesday. Okay, we'll be keep posting with another video on Copilot. Probably you would be interested in joining that as well. Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.